Financial Wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Fronti.
Well, you're going to be very sad because we're almost done here at the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show, where every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., we get to share with you all kinds of great information. We bring the best professionals we can find in all of Santa Clarita and across the nation to help educate you, inform you, and hopefully this year our goal is to motivate you to take action, to help improve your life, if not for you and your family, because if you don't, you're being selfish, and that's what I said when we closed.
And that was a good point, Don, because you are being selfish. The reality is, and what we were talking about today is estate plans and trusts, and if you don't get it done, you are being selfish, and you're just leaving a mess behind. And it's sad because the reality is because you don't want to deal with your own demise. You don't want to believe that you're going to die. You think you're immortal, and that's why you don't. That's where the selfishness comes in. Mm-hmm. And even worse, you think it's too expensive. Okay, you think that $2,200 or $2,500 is too much money to put together for a plan. What is that? A little better than your Starbucks budget? I know you spend that on shoes. I do. I know you spend that on other things. So ultimately, you are being selfish. And the other thing, too, is we deal with people that spend a lot of money on buying homes. Sometimes they're putting $100,000 down, but they won't get a trust.
They won't protect it.
They won't put $2,000 on a trust.
So
ridiculous.
We have Lisa Odom here with Poole and Shaffrey. She's our chosen estate planner, business attorney, real estate attorney, and so much more. And she's been on our show many, many times. Have taught us a lot, handles our own estate planning. Why don't you talk about the two things that all of you out there really need to think about? If you don't have it handled, even if you do, you should get it basically double checked that it's still proper, because we hear about nightmare stories. The two things,
maintenance.
Trust maintenance. I like that. So trust us. So the two things are you're getting a trust and life insurance.
Okay, well, so number one, as I was explaining to you guys before the show started, my husband actually got ill when I was 25 and he was 28, and his illness actually prevented him from getting life insurance for a period of 5 years. And during that period, we had 2 children. And interestingly, I watched a video recently where there was another gentleman who got sick at the age of 28 and passed away when his wife was pregnant. The baby was born the next day. And he luckily had gotten life insurance before she had passed away, or before he had passed away, and the wife and the baby were able to survive. And I remember during that period where I had my 2 children and no life insurance, I was terrified. He'd been very ill. So, there is that added stress.
That had to have been really scary.
Oh my gosh, there was an added stress. Like, what would have happened? How would I have survived as a single mother with with just my income? And I was a working mom, but how would I survive with just my income and no spouse? I mean, any single mom or single dad can tell you you're doing a lot of shuffling. Even when you have a spouse, there's a lot of shuffling. When there's no other spouse, it's got to be terrible. And without any money to boot, I mean, it's a nightmare. So one of the things that we do talk about a lot in our estate planning is the importance of life insurance, especially when there's minor children and there's people that you're still providing for. Those people need to be cared for. And what does that look like? And I obviously don't sell insurance, don't want to sell insurance, but I think it's really important when you're working with an estate planner that you talk to them about these issues. Do I need life insurance? And by the way, the stay-at-home mom also needs life insurance, not just the dad that works, and that's the most typical scenario. Although if it's a stay-at-home dad, he also needs insurance. I mean, who's going to be the chauffeur, the cook, the babysitter?
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of jobs that the spouse that works in the home has to a lot of jobs that person does. So life insurance is also something people should be considering at this time as they're going through this process. And it's something that if they saw me as an estate planner, even though I don't sell it and I have no vested interest in you having it, I'm going to say why, let's talk about this. Let's talk about why you should have it. It's really important. So, like I said, I went for 5 years with having no life insurance on my spouse, and thankfully he made it through. But the day that we passed that 5-year point, we had insurance. So that's one issue. The other issue is that's the money piece. The other piece is who's going to care for your kids if there's minors? Who's going to care for the children? How is the money going to be managed for them? Are we just going to...
We spent time talking about that when we did our estate plan.
It's a critically important issue. Most parents want to leave a legacy for their children. They don't just want to give them $1 million and just, first of all, you can't just give them $1 million. California law doesn't allow you just to hand a check to a 16-year-old and say, have fun. And frankly, who would want to? I'm sure that I'm raising these great little humans that are going to be awesome members and productive members of society. But what if they're not?
Right.
And how am I going to protect that?
We've seen plenty
money?
of those out there too.
Yeah, every once in a while we see, and usually in every family, there's that one kid who kind of fails
Look at
to
Gino's
launch.
come out okay at the end.
I did at the end, though, but I had to go through a rough patch. There definitely was an age bracket in which I should have had no money.
Exactly. I tell people all the time, one of my very dearest friends had a humongous settlement. She blew through that money. I mean, humongous, $750,000. She blew through that money so quick. It was not even funny.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring up something that happened during our estate plan because it's always best to talk about real stories, right? So I was stubborn, and I'm like, Nella and I took many, many years to do our trust because this was one of the sticking points, is I didn't want our properties to ever be sold. I wanted our properties to stay in the family forever and be passed down to our great-great-great-great-great-great-grandkids, and they could only take the income from the properties, but they could never sell them. So, putting our ego aside, right, and Nella's like, no, let them sell it and blow it and do whatever they want, right? So I'm like, both extremes. Well, and Lisa brings perspective to it and says, well, what if your son's a better real estate investor than you are, and he can sell all those properties to buy a better property? And I'm like, shoot. Okay, well, that makes sense. So,
You're like, it's impossible.
So I said, okay, well, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, okay, let's not tie him up forever.
Well, that was just one of the issues.
Yeah.
I mean, there was also other issues that we have to think about. Like,
Yeah.
what if one of them had a catastrophic injury and the
Right.
funds from one of those properties was needed? We want to give flexibility. There's a reason for it. And so we're always balancing. That's why when I sit with my clients, I talk to them a lot about their family dynamic, their wishes, understanding what your assets are, understanding all that.
That's important. Real quick, I just want to say, because a lot of you out there going, I'll just go online. And you can get estate planning done online. You can get a loan online too, but trust me, that doesn't usually work out. But you can tell, I just want to reiterate, as you hear us speaking and talking about estate planning and what things you need to think about, not all these things are brought up. Everyone is unique to you and your family and what's important to you. The online thing is check the boxes, here you go, you have one. But if you miss any of these areas, it's going to dramatically affect you and your family.
Yeah, it's fair enough to say if you buy something online, it's like good, better, best, right? It's
Right.
better to have a plan than no plan, but that plan can have a lot of gaping holes in it. I mean, a lot of serious holes that aren't going to help you achieve what you wished for. And it's really, you're not really saving much by doing it that way.
I will tell you, I'm dealing with trust administration right now that was from a legal Zoom trust. And let me tell you, it has cost more money than having done the trust correctly from the outset would have by eightfold. I mean, it is because of the probates. Because if the assets aren't in the trust, because you didn't know they were going to go in the trust, because you don't understand funding, because you're not a lawyer and you don't have a lawyer sitting there saying, let me explain how this works, it's wrong. And so, yes, we have a paper that says it goes to X, Y, and Z, but we have none of the assets in there to go to X, Y, and Z. And getting the assets in there, I mean, this was a large estate, getting the assets in there has been not the easiest thing. They were complex. I mean, sometimes it's astonishing how, I hate to put down LegalZoom, but it's not right for everybody. It's not cookie cutter. And estate planning is not a cookie cutter practice, contrary to popular belief. And it really does require a lot of listening, a lot of really analyzing assets and understanding how they work and how the family works with those assets. And I don't think you can get that from an online service.
I have to agree. So we have to close this out.
We have to close it out. But today we are, like Don said, we're
Yes.
going to be bold.
Yes.
So actually take your phone out now. Don't procrastinate. It's 2017. Get it done. It just takes a phone call to get started.
Yeah.
Lisa doesn't bite. She's really nice. She's really sweet. She'll set an appointment. So, Lisa, how can they call you right now to set an appointment?
Call 661-290-2991.
Say it one more time.
661-290-2991.
And what's your website or email? What's easiest?
Website is www.poolshaffrey.com. and Lisa at LODOM at poolshaffery.com.
All right, so take action today. We're going to plead with you all year long. We're going to be forcing you to improve your lives. You're going to say, thank you, Don and Gino. Thank you, Lisa Odom,
Thanks
for
for having
changing our lives. And that's our goal every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Check us out at donandgino.com. Check out America's Professional Resource Group at aprgi.com. We also have a daily video blog on what's really happening in real estate and in the finance world by going to nrecafe.com, nrecafe.com. We're here for you. We want to improve your lives. Thank you for joining us every Saturday. Thank you, Lisa, for joining us.
You.
And take action in 2017.
Oh, that's what we'll say. Take action. We'll be with you next Saturday. Have a great weekend.